Well, this is super broken. Can you guys see and hear me? All right. Now, if you can see and hear Kittens, then we're good enough to keep going, even though everything on this end is, like I said, super broken. All right. Well, welcome to a close-up. I know it's been a while, and I'm still kind of recovering and just swamped with things to take care of as a result of having sort of been out of it for over a week. But here we are. And of course, everything, is always broken. Me, the technology, all the things around the house. Fortunately, not the kittens. The kittens are doing great. So that's the good news. We do have them all on antibiotics right now. But at this point, I feel like they're all doing pretty healthy. If I've got minor concerns about anybody, it's probably just Caper. We've been having trouble getting him to eat, but at this point, I really think that his eating problems are almost entirely just being picky. He eats fine if he gets the food he wants, which is mostly like baby food, the kind of stuff that we use as cat treats, but when it's the regular fancy feast, he just turns up his nose. Not the first time that we've had a kitten act that way. And the only reason it's concerning is that I feel like he is a little bit underweight. If he were of a good weight, then, I'd let him go a lot longer. But you got to get that buffer of extra fat before it's okay for him to go a while being picky to learn his lesson. So for the moment, we're kind of indulging him and giving him some dry food and some baby food and stuff that he likes instead of what he ought to be eating. But hopefully that will resolve soon. But other than that, everybody's doing, as far as I can tell, pretty well. We've had some eye goobers that are starting to resolve. I feel really good about that. You might notice that Etch has kind of been showing some nose goobers that I think are related, and that's also resolving pretty well. And there's Etch, by the way. Oh, we got a curtain climber, that's Sham. You can see that as of this morning, really, they've kind of discovered this room, and they also all went outside. Well, not all, but a lot of them, especially the bigger kids, all went to the cat run this morning for their, I think, first time? I don't know. I've lost track of pretty much everything. Well, what else can I tell you? We've had a lot of spa time for these kittens. The older kittens have had an entire night in the spa upstairs instead of in the main room, and they did great. So they will be invited back many times. The little Gambit and Gimmick are big snugglers and just love to hang around with me and snuggle and all the stuff all the time. They're just super cute. But the whole class is sort of exceptionally, people friendly. And that's really nice. Those two just sort of take first place, I think. They're going back and forth fighting for who's going to be the most snuggliest. And it's a good competition. Hi, bud. Oh, somebody's fighting a little hard there. Oh, yes. So current situation notwithstanding, Tommy's been doing very well. That was a little too much, though. You about ready for a Tom out, buddy? It's been a while since you needed an actual Tom out. Okay, I think you are ready for a Tom out. Come on, bud. Tommy! Tommy, bud. So, as you know, Tommy's a little bigger and a little older than the other kittens, and also, hasn't had the same mom upbringing that some of them have had. So he can sometimes get a little bit carried away, as you can see. But it's getting so much better about it. It's very, very rare. It's been a few days since I think we've had to actually, take a minute and pull him away from the kittens. And that's great progress. I can feed him treats by hand now, and he doesn't get all bitey. He's very, very gentle and polite. And almost all the time, he doesn't even try to open his mouth like he just was. He's just very carried away at the moment. It's a sort of extreme. He's sort of been set off this morning, I guess. I shouldn't say this morning. He's been fine this morning, just in the last couple of seconds. But yeah, so that's the good news about Tommy is he is doing great. And also, so we had to move things around for our vet visits because we're still a little, like we're keeping an eye on Muriel to make sure that she's fully recovered from whatever she's got going on, which was pancreatitis, as far as I know. And she does seem like she's entirely recovered. She's acting, like she's doing great. But because there's no rush to get her spayed, we thought it might be better to just make sure that she's fully recovered before we bring her in for that spay. Hey, Maggie, you're going to get yourself in trouble. Etch is just hissing at Maggie. She probably swiped at him or something. I don't know. You all puffed up at Maggie now, huh? Come here, buddy. Let's reboot. Come on up here and reboot. Anyway, what I was saying about Muriel is Muriel is that her spay was scheduled for this week, and instead of doing her spay, we subbed in Tommy. So Rue got her spay, and Tommy got his neuter, but Muriel still hasn't gotten anything because we're just going to wait a little while. Here you can see what I'm talking about with Etch's nose. Do you see that little scab right there? It's actually looking much better, so I think he's getting better. And I think it's the same thing that causes the eye goobers in everybody. In him, it's just causing a little bit of nose, probably just nose goobers, and he's irritating the nose, and then it gets a little scabby, and that's not an unusual thing. He's doing great. That's hardly anything to even notice. But we have been treating it. We've been treating with some Cipro eye drops, and everybody is getting metronidazole, which is an antibiotic, which probably won't do anything for that. But it does help with the stomach bugs that everybody was having for a little while. So anyway, we're getting over all that. I saw Ponder's song says, quote, "It's just a cold sore." Well, you might be more right than you think. A lot of times that sort of thing, the eye goobers and the little nose goobers and that little scabby thing that he's got are the feline herpes virus. It's very common. As I've said in the past, your cat probably has herpes. They basically all do. And it's not a big deal most of the time. They never have an outbreak, but then sometimes when things get a little stressful or when they're still very young, they'll have a little bit of an outbreak. And that very well could be what's going on here. So, like I said, you might be more right than you think. But it's one of those things that you can't do anything for directly. You just kind of got to treat and they'll recover and it'll go into remission and not a big deal. So there you go. So I don't want to make this a long close-up, and part of the technical trouble I'm having here is that my little display that usually tells me how many people are watching and how long we've been going for is completely busted. I can't see it at all. So, I mean, I can see it, but it says 0. It says we've been streaming for 0 minutes and there's 0 people watching. Sorry, everybody. I guess you don't actually exist, but what can you do? So I do want to cut it a little short, and we're just going to go however long we go, and then we're gonna wrap it up, and whatever time it happens to be, I just don't know any better. But before we do, I want to make sure that we at least get a chance to try to see everybody real quick, okay? Because I know it's been a while. So let me go in some kind of order. We'll start with the older kids. We just saw Tommy up close. So next up, we are probably going to want to see. Let's go with Rue's class first. So Rue is that's the mom with the older class. Rue's right here. She got spayed yesterday, so she's definitely in a recovering from surgery mode, and she's been kind of holed up in this Halloween house because I think it gives her a place that she can kind of hide away. but also it's right on top of the heat vent, which has probably been running. And because of the way this cardboard is lined up, the heat comes right through it. So it's basically like sitting on a heat vent herself. I guess I don't need to show you it's under there. You can kind of see the corner of it so you know it is. So I think that's nice for her. She kind of sits on something, makes her feel kind of warm and good. That's about all there is to say about it, really. She came home yesterday. She was like all drugged up. She was up in the master bedroom for a long time. She likes to knead on the bedspread. And she was super extra snuggly. And she was even like grooming Tommy and stuff. She's feeling real good. She's such a mom. Rue is such a wonderful, sweet mom cat. The mommest of moms. She just takes care of everybody all the time. And if there's any sort of, like threat, she's the first one on the scene. Muriel would just sort of ignore if one of the if somebody else got like hissy around the kittens and stuff. She's like, whatever, you can take care of yourself. But Rue is the one that'll come in and be the police, and that'll set her off. And then in turn, that sets off Muriel, and the whole thing just escalates. So we got to be careful about anybody getting the kittens angry like Maggie just did. I'm sure if Rue were not recovering from surgery, she would have been right in there to correct Maggie, and that would have set off a whole chain of anger. But fortunately, she's still recovering, and that gave Maggie an out. So let's see. Let's go down her whole family. This is, first off, we have Caper. Caper's got the blue collar. He is a classic tabby with the big swirl pattern. And he's the one I was talking about that has gotten to be a very picky eater. But you can see he looks super healthy. His ribs, well, I guess his ribs feel a little bit skinny. So I'd love to see some fat on that before I start really forcing him to eat what we want. So we'll keep taking care of him keep taking care of him. What I mean is we'll keep feeding him food that would prefer wasn't what he was eating, as long as it gets calories in him for a while. And hopefully we can get him switched over to what he really ought to be eating. And I really do think that's all there is to it, but of course we're keeping a close eye on him to make sure. And if we suspect that there's anything more going on, we'll treat him specially. But he is getting the same antibiotics as everybody else. So there we go. Okay, so next up, what we want to see is Hijinks. And here he comes. He just came right up to us, almost like he knew. So Hijinks is the mackerel tabby with the red collar. And hi. Also, look at that. He's still kind of got blue eyes, which is really, really cool. Anyway, so Hijinks, red collar, mackerel tabby. And I don't know what to say about Hijinks. He's sort of like your default kitten, I guess, except, like I said, this whole family is really friendly, and I love that. But he's just, he's active and running around and playing, and he just wants to do kitten stuff and be a kitten, and he's really good at it. So that's little Hijinks. Hey, bud. Yes, you are a kitten, though. So next up will be Hustle. When I see him, he's sleeping up there. Okay. Hustle's over here in the cage right now. Hustle has turned into a real surprise because he is, again, a mackerel tabby, just like Hijinks that we just saw, and they're brothers. But he turns out to be definitely a super floofer, like a big, fuzzy, long-haired kitten. And in fact, he's so floofy, he's made me start to wonder whether Muriel's kittens are going to be long hairs at all. Well, now we have a real problem because the video just cut out like it does sometimes, and I don't know if I can get it back with the technical problems that we're having. Good. But I guess I got to try, because otherwise, what are we going to do? Hang on. Let's try this first. Nope, that didn't help. There. Do we have it? You guys tell me if we got it or not. Anyway, this should be Hustle. And like I said, Hustle is a super floofy, long-haired cat. And it's amazing. He's a mackerel tabby. He's so soft. And his name, Hustle, turned out to kind of be one of those ironic names because he is kind of a lazy boy. But doing fine. Perfectly healthy, perfectly happy, eating, playing, all the things that other cats do. He's sort of mellow, like a Hal. I always think of Hal as being the mellow kitten, or the prototypical mellow kitten anyway. So he's a mellow boy, but Real sweet and so soft. This long floof that he's got. And let's see, if I just hold him up against like the white wall or something, I think you can really see, look at all that hair that just sticks up all over. I don't know, that's not the best view of it actually, but I tried, so there you go. All right, put you right back where we found you. There we go. Floof halo, yes. Oh, there, now you can really see it. I should just put him in there. Look at all that extra floof. So that brings us now to Rue's little black kittens. There are 3 of hers that are all black, or mostly all black. And we start with Gimmick. There he is. That's Gimmick right there. We know Gimmick because he's got a white collar. A white collar that I have a note that I need to replace today because he has outgrown the tiny collar. Well, he's outgrown it and it's also shrunk, so it's undergrown him. Is that what you would say? Undergrown? Ingrown. No, that doesn't sound right. Well, at any rate, these collars tend to shrink because they get caught by the other kittens while they're playing, and they pull the little threads, and that makes them, tighten up a little bit. So I check them every day, and today his is not too tight, but it's all the way at the loosest setting, so it's time to get him a new one. Anyway, Gimmick, as I was saying, is in competition for first place most snuggliest. But they like I said, all these kittens are just great on that spectrum. They're just so snuggly. You can see he's still got a little tiny eye goober. No big deal. And he's also got a white spot on his neck and one on his belly. So he's not 100% black kitten. There's a gene for that makes tuxies, they're a black kitten, and then they've got an extra gene that adds white. That's how cats work. If a cat has white on it, it's the same sort of add white to this cat gene. And so he's got the add white gene, like Custard. He's got the add white gene. Tommy's got the add white gene, But Sham, who is next, Sham has not got that. She might be right here on the cat tree. Oh, look at this cat tree, by the way. You can tell it's fall because all of the beds have fallen off of the cat tree in fall, soon to be replenished. Anyway, this is Sham. She's the only girl in Rue's class, and you can tell that because she's got a pink collar, I guess. Let's check hers too. I know I checked it when I gave her meds. She's doing fine. So this is Sham. Again, real, just sweet, playful, wonderful, little tiny black kitten girl. Right now she does not want to be held though. There we go. So that's Sham. And finally in this class we have the other one who is in competition with Gimmick to be the most snuggliest, who is Gambit. But where is he? Oh, hi. Is that you? It is. You thought you'd sneak up on me, didn't you? Oh, but I snuck up on you. So this is little Gambit. He's in the same situation with the collar, by the way. I got to get him a new green collar today. But his collar is green, and it has also gotten to be just the wrong size for him. Hi, bud. Okay, don't chomp on me. At least when you chomp, you're very polite about it. Mm-hmm. Hi, bud. Okay. Hi. Let's sit down right over here and have a look at you. So that's Gambit. And he also has not got, I don't think he's got the white gene, but, we used to tell him apart by the fact that his back half was a lot more gray than his front half. And I had been saying all along I thought he would grow out of it, and I think you can still see a hint of it if you're really looking for it. But mostly, I think he has, in fact, grown out of it and just looks like your typical little black kitten, I think. Of course, he's not your typical little black kitten. Like everybody in his family is super sweet. Okay, that brings us to the next class. The younger class is Mural's class. And like I said, this is Mural right here. They're co-parenting. They're doing a great job. This is not her kitten, but she still lets him climb on her. And they all try to nurse. By the way, some of them have figured out how to nurse through this thing. And you'll see them very often. Sometimes they just try to nurse on it, and they don't know the difference, and that's fine. And then sometimes they get their heads like in here and find a nipple and actually nurse. In fact, I bet if I look, look, you can see her fur is all sort of wet and matted down from the kids kind of nursing there. she doesn't mind, and I don't mind either. The whole point of the suit was to stop them nursing, but it doesn't really matter if they stop 100%. The idea was to have her retain more of the calories from stuff that she's eating for herself, because she's getting way too skinny. And having the suit on means that she doesn't nurse as much, and in fact, her weight has been improving quite a bit. I think she's still got a ways to go, but very well. And her pancreatitis also probably is resolving, just based on the fact that she seems happier and she's gaining weight and everything's going very well. So that's Mural. Guess she hasn't got much to say this morning, though. She's kind of had all the mom duties since Rue has not been, has had her spay. Also, I've been leaving, Rue out of the room the last few nights, and Mural has been in a couple of them to keep an eye on the kittens. But we switch it around. So there we go. Anyway, that is Mural. Hi, okay. I'm going to touch your little red spot. Boop. Okay. So let's go through Mural's kittens real quick, and then we'll call it quits, because I have no idea how long we're going. I don't want it to be too long, and for you guys or for me. So I got to think, what's the right order for Mural's kids? First off, we're going to have Splotch. Where's Splotch? Splotch is, I think, technically a Torby, although we've got her down as a Tabby. And she's the one with the gold-colored collar, if I can find that. So let's see if we can find that somewhere. There's Edge, kittens everywhere. Gonna be a tricky one. Oh, there she is. Okay, I think that's her. Is it? That looks like her right in here, inside the hammock. Hi, Splotch. Like I said, she's on the chart as a tabby, and you can see she does look like a sort of brown mackerel tabby. But I think the extra colors that she has, like this little patch of red right here, right there, and you can kind of see a little bit more of the patches of color on her face, I hope, if the camera picks it up. Yeah, so I think she would qualify as a Torby or a tabby with sort of Tory colors, if you wanted to call her that. And she is a tiny little sweetheart. There we go. They also, I think this is new to you guys, they got their collars just in time for their first vet trip where they got their first vaccines and everything, which they have all done now. They've all got their first vaccines. So Splotch has the gold-colored collar. All right, let's just put you right back where we found you, Splotch, okay? Then next will be Trace, who is the actual Torty, this one I think right here, with the red collars, very Christmassy colors, because she's got a red maroon collar with a green buckle. So super Christmassy, appropriate for these kittens are going to be adopted just before Christmas, like the week before is when they'll be ready to be adopted. And you can see she is a Torty, and she's got all the Torty colors going on there. So that is Trace. She's got mom's little red dot on the head too. Boop. Okay, there we go. That's Trace. Now, next up will be, thank you for the timer, Barbara Joy, 23 minutes. Okay, so this is Etch right here. I should have mentioned that most of Mural's kids we thought were long hair when they were born. DJ was pretty sure all of them were going to be long hairs. And I think if you look again now, you'll be like, maybe not so much, right? That's how I'm feeling. Maybe not so much. It's so hard to tell when they're little how they're going to go. But they almost all are polydactyl, though. You can see Etch here is the one where it's so easy to see. He's got that big thumb, and he's got like that extra, do you see the extra little tiny claw and digit in between the thumb and the rest of them? So he's the six-fingered man. So this is Edge. We talked about him before, so we won't have to go into it too much, but he got a black and white collar. Very nice. And then the other boy in her class is Doodle. Doodle's right here. Okay, Doodle. Hey, buddy. Wake you up for a minute, okay? This is Doodle. Well, Doodle's had a bit of a winky eye, so he's definitely been getting the Cipro, but I think it's almost resolved today. So he's looking very good. He is an all black kitten. We thought originally he was going to be a long-haired kitten. He's got the spotted collar, same collar Tommy's got actually. And he might actually be long-haired, but it's so hard for me to tell right now, especially compared to Hustle. Nobody looks long-haired. Like Hustle's so super floofed right now. So he also is a polydactyl. So let's take a look at his little paw there. You see now he makes it a little easier to see that extra little, see that little dot in between the four claws and the one that would be the fifth? That is another tiny little claw. So there we go. I just saw someone ask if cats can carry the polydactyl gene but not express it. And I'm not, so I don't know. I look it up, but I do believe that it is a dominant gene, which is why it's such a common sort of quote unquote defect in cats. But I'm not sure actually. So that's Doodle. Boop, he's also a boy. Doodle and Etch are the only two boys in Muriel's class. The other ones are all girls. Which leads us to the next kitten on the list, who's the other tortie, who is, the other tortie is Squiggle. I always want to call her Splotch. I get it wrong a lot. I'm working on it. I think this is Squiggle right over here having a nap with, oh, Shane. Hi, Shane. Haven't seen you in a while. Little donkey Shane. Oh, okay. There we go. You can sit up here. There you go. That's Shane. So this is Squiggle. And Squiggle has the two-tone pink and green collar. Ooh, very fancy. And she is also a full tortie, as you can see. More of a sort of a traditional tortie look, too. I love her little pink nose spot. You see that there? And she is not a polydactyl. So she and one other, the next one, are not poly in this class, but all the rest are. And she's just like, you woke me up. Did you want something? Can I go back to sleep now? Yeah, okay. So that's Squiggle. And Squiggle, by the way, is a real food fanatic. Like if treats come out, she will fight for those treats. I mean, fight hard. She loves the foods. But she's also pretty smart because she's learned when I give out treats at medicine time, not to trust it. She knows not to trust the medicine treats. Very smart. Okay, hi, bud. Hey, look at that floofy bro. So let's see. I forgot to mention the collar color, but you can see that's a purple collar on Hustle. Hi, bud. He's out to play now. Lazy time's over, huh? Okay, so that brings us to the final kitten of Muriel's class, who is Scrawl. And Scrawl is still our tiniest kitten, but he's doing very well. And I don't know where to find him. Is that him in there? I can't tell. I don't think it is. Doesn't look like him, but maybe I'm wrong. Scrawl will have a gray collar when we find him. Oh, that's the one. Okay, it's sort of a gray tan color, and it's been very confusing to me. At first, I got him confused with Splotch several times. But there's his collar, as you can see. It's sort of a gray, but it's also it's kind of a tan, I think. Anyway, mostly gray. And again, we have her. I keep calling him a him. He's not a him. He's a her. Her, on the weight sheet, she's listed again as a tabby, and a mackerel tabby, but might be technically what you would call a torby. And she actually has Mom's little red dot on her head a little bit. But it's not super clear, but it's there. She does have that same sort of, she's got the extra color that would indicate a sort of a tortie thing, but it's in the tabby pattern. And anyway, and she's tiny. She's got a little baby face still. You can see that little tiny baby face. And I often call her Small instead of Scrawl. Because she is so very small compared to everybody else. But she's catching up. It's hard to tell visually now anymore, even that she's so much smaller. But if you look at the weight sheet, she's still got some catching up to do. All right, that's everybody. We saw Tommy, who's the odd man out. But Tommy, by the way, again, his activity on this close-up notwithstanding, Tommy has been doing so well. I'm almost ready to let him just spend overnights with these kittens. Almost. I want a little bit more confidence that we won't have any incidents like what just happened. But we're getting real close, and I think that's a good lesson about introducing cats and kittens. Sometimes you can bring them together and they're immediately friends, and that's great. More often, it takes some time. You think about it, we didn't bring Mural and Rue's classes or Kittens or them together for like a month. And then finally they were ready, and that was after a lot of work of sort of introductions and treats and things. But now they're together and they're super friendly, and that's great. I hear a lot of yelling, which probably, I thought it was going to mean Tommy, but nope, they're just yelling and wrestling. Etch wants to go be involved. Etch also kittens love to start fights and then yell about it, but then they'll jump right back in and start fighting. I think they're sort of learning how to use their voices. Etch is kind of the worst for that because he loves to yell. I've been calling him Kvetch because it's funny and because that's exactly what it seems like he's doing. He just complains all the time when he's fighting. Anyway. Yeah, so I was going to say something about introducing cats, but instead I'll just mention, so what happened here is I took a bunch of the platforms off, that they've needed replacing for a while, and I'm working on the project of replacing them, but it's not going to happen immediately, so that's why we got all these extra branches on the tree. And in the meantime, the faculty and the kittens are enjoying it as a whole new kind of toy. It's much more difficult to get from here to here than it used to be, but I think it's a challenge that the kittens are having fun with. So there you go. All right. Well, hey, thanks for having a close-up with me. I'm glad I'm feeling better enough to do it a little bit. I still got to take care of myself. And again, not only do I have all my usual kind of work, which keeps me quite busy, but a lot of things I got to get caught up on, too. So, I'm going to be a little frantic, but that's okay. We will see you again probably on Friday. And, yeah, I guess that's it. Oh, don't forget about budget etch. There we go. No weight gains from this guy. I'm starting to get a little concerned. Okay. Well, Tommy, good job taking a nap. That's the right thing to do. All right, I'm going to turn this camera around. So if you want to keep watching these kittens fight here in the cheese, tune into the Kitten Academy live stream and you will be able to watch them there all day long, 24 hours if you want. Thanks, everybody. Oh, so much yelling. Oh, I can't stop it. Oh my, we've got a whole new problem now. It won't stop. I think I'm gonna have to go to a computer and stop this stream there. I think I can kill the fact that I'm broadcasting. It'll just say that it's just like the video is gonna go out. So